Well, let's start here. Kyler Murray is a dramatic improvement over what we watched in Minnesota last season. I think the perception around him is that he's very streaky and that maybe he's fallen off from the highs earlier in his career. But look at this. These are Kyler's numbers, his statistical rankings 2024 through 2025. So these are the last 20 or so starts that he's played. He has been an above average quarterback in success rate, EPA per dropback, QBR. And then on the right, you have what Minnesota got from the quarterback position last season. And so my point here is we talk a lot about Kyler's upside, the floor he gives you as a quarterback in terms of playing on time and, just his ability to play efficient football. Now, Dan and I have talked about this. This is not an easy and obvious scheme fit with Kevin O'Connell. But to me, the opportunity here to upgrade is not just a challenge, but an opportunity for O'Connell in addition to Murray. Can you evolve your offense to suit the quarterback coming in? That's something I'd like to see because I do think he has a set of tools, and Dan, you can speak to this, that O'Connell can build around.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be in Minnesota. I think he's going to be their starting quarterback. And I would tell you, so when Drew Petzing, who's the play caller from Arizona, who's now the offensive coordinator in Detroit, but when he got to Arizona in 2023, one of the things that changed in really drastic way in comparison to Cliff Kingsbury, who was initially there, was much more under center and much more play action. So if you look at Minnesota and like Sam Darnold and how great Sam Darnold was there, it was because he was phenomenal operating the play action pass game. Kyler actually was really good early on in 2023, and I would tell you the early part of 2024 in the play action game. Me and I talked about it a ton, like, oh, finally he's in an offense that really he's thriving in from a pass game perspective. If Kyler can get settled into that, he's probably a more talented playmaker than Sam Darnold was, certainly than Kirk Cousins and J.J. McCarthy were. And so can he do that consistently? Like, that's the question mark that I have. Can he get into that play action rhythm consistently in Minnesota, if that's the place?
Dan, something that's unique about Kyler is for a quarterback of his size, he will throw over the middle of the field.
Totally.
Often when we see with quarterbacks who are under 6 foot tall, they have trouble seeing the middle of the field. But of course, that'll be assisted by the fact if they roll him out more often, that allows him, to see things quite more clearly. And you saw that again. You made a great point there. Early in Arizona, he has that ability. We know that's what O'Connell wants to do. The middle of the field is such an important part of the Vikings offense. And I would say what differentiates him from J.J. McCarthy is he's able to throw those balls and layer them with touch. That is so important in this offense. Now, the QB designed run element, these are the things I think you want to see O'Connell build around that he has not really done so. I guess Josh Dobbs is the example you would go to. But Kyler is a different skill set in that regard. I'm very interested in watching it because I do think there's a real opportunity here for this Vikings offense to take a different step or to move in a different direction from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and the one thing I do think that would be probably the, sticking point would be it's an offense that just wants you to allow the play caller to star. I'll design the plays. I'll get the guys open. You make the throw. And that's why Sam was so great there. Kyler's a playmaker. And so walking that fine line of being the playmaker when needed rather than wanting to, I think will probably be where the biggest growth will have to come from for this, if it's Minnesota, to work the best.
To the points that you guys are making, Kyler Murray, top 10 in completions inside the numbers over his career.
Yeah.
I'm not sure people realize just how good he is at some of these things, and we'll keep an eye on whether or not he does end up in Minnesota. Now, when the clock struck 4 Eastern just a few minutes ago, all the deals that we've been talking about since Monday can officially be signed. It's a good reminder that getting pen to paper on these contracts feels more and more important than ever this year after what happened last night and just the unfolding of the Max Crosby deal falling apart. As we bring Adam back in here, Adam, the Max Crosby trade deal in Baltimore was agreed to, but it was not finalized. Why did it end up ultimately falling apart?